users. Today we're taking a look at All Along the Watchtower, the Jimi Hendrix version. Today I'm going to show you two different style of guitar patches to set up in your GarageBand interface. Let's get started. So the first one's based on a Marshall classic, plexi style amp, and then the second one is more based on a Fender style black-faced amp. Jimmy was obviously known to play with the Marshall stacks live, but he's also known to use the Fender amps in the studio for recording purposes. So what I did today, instead of starting with any of the GarageBand presets, I'm going to show you how I built one strictly from scratch, not using any amp or any of the preset plugins in GarageBand. So the first thing I did was you're going to go to open up a new track, and when you select that, select this record using a microphone amp. So it's the same type of audio input track as what you would normally select for your guitar input, but this just gives you a fresh start with no amp selected or anything. Alright, so once you have that track selected, it's going to give this type of an icon for that type of just a generic input. So down here in the plugin settings, you're going to see they give you a compressor and an EQ, and I'm going to show you the amp design and the pedal board. So let's go to the amp that I selected. Alright, so for this first amp selection, disregard this top window. The way you're going to select this amp is come down to this amp selection, choose this modern British head. You've got the vintage British 4x12 cabinet. You're going to pick this dynamic 421 microphone. Output's at 0. Here's the mic placement all the way in the center, about midway out from the speaker cone. On your settings here, you're going to go set your gain to 9, EQ, set it to the modern EQ setting, bass at 6, mids at 5, treble at 6. I've got the reverb on just under 2, just a very slight amount. On All Along the Watchtower, his lead is fairly dry, so when you're playing around with the sound, it might help just have a little bit of reverb for that effect. None of these effects are on right now. Presence at 5, masters at 8. Pedalboard is pretty simple. I didn't care for the sounds of any of these fuzz or overdrives. We're strictly using the overdrive from the Marshall style amp, and just add this graphic EQ. And here's the settings. You could see kind of a mid-range hump in the 0.4 to 0.6 hertz range. I've got the output minus 1.1, 0.28. Okay, now for the track settings, you can see I've got the compressor on midway. Here's my EQ settings and the mid frequency and the low cut. Got a little bit of ambience selected, no reverb on this plugin. On the channel EQ, go ahead, just select this guitar, push and pull guitar. That'll give you a nice EQ to use. Okay, now what you want to also do, go to your master track. Here you can see I have the squeeze and the bright settings on. This is a little past 2 o'clock. This is a little past 9 o'clock. These EQs are all midway. Compression's about 2 o'clock. Limiter is off. For my guitar input, using my Tex-Mex Strat, you mainly want to use the neck pickup setting, and you're primarily going to turn your tone down to about 6 to 7 to 8. Just roll that top end off a little bit, and then your volume also. In the loud parts, you can roll it all the way up. Some of the lead lines and backing tracks, you're going to bring the volume down, clean up the amp a little bit. Somewhere around 7 or 8 is good, is what I found works the best. Alright, next let's take a look at patch number 2, the Fender style amp. I built this track the same way. Start with the fresh audio input. Alright, for this amp you're going to choose the amp selector, large black face amp. cabinet's going to be the Blackface 4x10 cab. We've got the dynamic 421 microphone. Here's the play setting again, same as patch 2. Got your gain on 9.5, bass is 9, mid at 8, treble at a little past 8, and I've got the boutique EQ setting. Reverb is on. I'm going to use the warm reverb. Vibrato and trem is off right now. Presence is at 5.5. Your master's at 8. All right, next I'll show you the pedal board again. This one, once again, we just have the graphic EQ. I've got the 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, and the 1.6. Those are bumped up a little bit. Highs are about right in the middle. Same with the 0.1. Bring the output down a little bit there. All right, next again for our plugins. On the compressor, minus 20 dB, ratio is 1.8. Attack is 23 milliseconds. Gain is 1 dB. On the channel EQ, same as 2, we've got the push and pull guitar EQ. Here's my compressor setting at 50%. Here's the low, mid, and the high. Mid frequencies, low cut. Reverb's all the way down, a little bit of ambience, once again, about 10 o'clock. Once again on the master track, squeeze is 2 o'clock, bright about 9:30, EQ all right up the middle. We're using the EQ from the other plug-in and the pedal. Compression is at about 2 o'clock. Limiter is off. All right, I hope you like those settings. That's going to get you pretty close for a starting point if you're trying to model some of the tones on All Along the Watchtower by Jimi Hendrix. All right, I've got many more videos coming out with other guitar players' tones, so please check out all of my other videos.